there's a mystique when you think that like they're really living it. It's
They're
like
really living that life.
it's like, oh man, because we all, as a consumer, we'll watch somebody crash out
Hmm.
on live TV.
We'll
We'll
watch.
watch y'all shoot each other up on
That's
TV
right.
and murder each other,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So we'll watch y'all to the death. We'll watch y'all fight to the death, gladiator style.
Yep.
So we don't, the consumer, and I say we, not me literally, but the consumers don't care. They'll watch you die
They don't care
and
at all.
crash, and they'll go to the next one. When you dead or in jail, RIP or free so and so, and go to the next thug rapper.
Man, what it do, B?
What it do? What it do?
What it do? Welcome to the Indie Unplugged. B Vaughan.
Brian Onrea, baby.
And
Understand me?
so man, you know how we got to start it off.
Yeah.
I'm like, I found out this morning.
Yeah. It's funny because everybody's like, it's like the race to post something first.
It's like the race to post it first, right?
Yeah, and literally like I'm about to tell myself it's probably a bad thing, but I always wake up super early in the morning, use the restroom, and I don't feel like going, so I grab my phone just to lay there for a minute until I feel like getting up and going. So like 5:00 this morning, I got up, I opened up my phone. Of course, I go to Instagram. These are bad habits, right? By the way, this is not. You should be thanking God you woke up, any kind of thing. But I grabbed the phone and I opened it up, and immediately I see LL Cool J posting the picture of Quincy Jones with all the Grammys.
Yep.
And a lot of times you know what it is before you even start reading it. And of course I read it, and it's like, especially with somebody that's like an elder statesman who are in their 90s, you kind of dread getting that message, and of course, LL Cool J was the first person I saw announce the news that Quincy Jones had passed away at the age of, I think, 91, I believe.
91.
Lived a full life, lived a full life, did a whole lot, but it's still sad to see him go,
Right.
Especially it's the Indie Unplugged. So a lot of us, we're up and coming, right? We're up and coming, and we're trying to get somewhere, and we will hope to meet him one day,
Right.
And we hope to kind of like get on or get to that level while he's still alive. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, dang,
Yeah,
I never
it's
get a
like
chance to meet Quincy Jones.
It's like a missed opportunity. Like I want to be able to meet a legend.
Yeah.
Like Quincy Jones, who has been so influential in music, right? He talked about, one of the quotes that Quincy talked about was, there just being 12 notes. And it's like, it just how you imagine those 12 notes. I mean, I'm not giving it verbatim how he said it, but
yeah,
it's how you imagine those 12 notes. Like there really isn't any genre. You can create whatever you want to create out of those 12 notes.
Yeah. Super accomplished producer.
Super accomplished.
The greatest of all time. I mean, when it comes to just record producer.
I would absolutely agree with that. I think for me, one of the things that opened my eyes to Quincy Jones was the documentary about Quincy Jones.
Yeah, I watched it today.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
The whole thing. Well, my daughter's out of school today, and not to toot my own horn, but I think I did a good job with her musical taste, and she was literally like interested in seeing this documentary after our conversation about him this morning. So I'm like, let's watch it.
Let's watch it.
So we watched it today, and he has a great autobiography as well. I encourage everybody to read the autobiography. I read it like over 10 years ago, but I kind of skimmed through it today for about an hour or so.
Right.
And so I immersed myself in the whole thing, the documentary and, his autobiography. Please, if you love music, especially if you're doing music.
If you're doing music, this is absolutely something that you should be reading, researching.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like his work with Frank Sinatra, for me, was so eye-opening, man. Like when nobody else wanted to give Quincy a shot, Frank Sinatra was like, hey, let's go.
Something my daughter noticed. She's like, she's only 14. She's like, she noticed how like he went from like the jazz bebop to like the soul. Like after Frank Sinatra, he kind of went. He did the movie scoring.
Right.
He did all this soulful stuff, and the way he kind of just easily kind of just transitioned, and she picked up on that. And I'm like, that is amazing. That's really amazing. From Frank Sinatra,
and the woman that he was uh, that he had learned from over in
France.
France.
Yeah, she the
Yeah,
one to taught him about the 12 notes thing.
exactly.
Yeah,
Matt, see, so it's amazing that from a independent perspective that you can learn music and you can learn creativity no matter what genre you find yourself in, right? I mean, because Quincy didn't start off from the documentary perspective, doing soul and music like that. It was working with Frank Sinatra, learning from I don't know if she was a classical pianist or I can't remember.
he taught himself how to play piano. He just saw a piano one day and
Mhm,
started playing it. And then he got into trumpet, and that's when he
mhm,
met Ray Charles at 16, and um, was it Count Basie, and then all
mhm,
those. So he was playing like the kind of the bebop, the big
mhm.
band, and he started learning how
That's
to
right. That's right.
conduct bands. You know what I mean?
And
And
that's the thing, right? Conducting bands, like you think about Quincy Jones, that we know of today, producing, Thriller, the greatest album
the all-time
of
biggest
all
selling
time
album ever.
ever. Which almost the song Thriller. I watched the thing the other day, not to kind of jump from Quincy to, but it's still relatable. But there's this channel that I watch called Digging the Greats,
Yeah,
and I love that channel. The guy on there does a great job in explaining music and the history of music and things like that. And was talking about you know the song Thriller and how it was named something else in the beginning, and I think it was called like Starlight,
okay,
and it didn't really sound like Thriller. It had the same beat, but going through that process, which is why Quincy Jones is one of the greatest music producers ever.
yeah,
Just his creativity, his ability to orchestrate, all the musical composition, and just really to bring that album to life. Uh, because if you heard Starlight, you were like, Starless, nah. But this is Thriller, like, oh. And actually, me and my wife, we sat and watched it a couple days ago. And so now, you find out that Quincy Jones passed and just the legacy that he left in the music world, not just in hip hop, R&B, soul, but in the music world,
well, he
right?
said there's only about the whole genre thing.
Right.
Was it Duke Ellington or Count Basie? I forget who. Their mission was to kind of like stop classifying genres. I don't know if that's the best idea, but that was kind of like
Right.
his motivation. And what he said was, Quincy Jones, was that there's only two types of music: good
Good
music
music,
and bad
bad music.
music. You know what I'm saying? So it
Right.
don't matter the genre. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
right.
So yeah, man, I'm I'm full just by immersing myself in Quincy today. I'm
Mm-hmm.
so full. I'm so
Mm-hmm.
inspired. And so motivated. And rest in peace to him, man. He's gonna live forever through his creations, man. And
Mm-hmm.
just, I saw Dr. Dre put a post up, you know, and he said it in the documentary because the documentary starts off with Dr. Dre
Right.
and Quincy Jones. And what he said was, "This is the man that inspired me to be a producer." And I think about Dr. Dre, and Dr. Dre to me, from a hip hop perspective, is the closest thing to Quincy Jones that we've ever seen because he does the same thing. I saw a post that somebody posted on Instagram about Dr. Dre's ICU. That's his production team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And they were
Mm-hmm.
listing all the members of the ICU, like Focus and Fred
Mm-hmm.
Reck, and some of those guys, down to the songwriters and engineers. You know what I'm saying? And people in the comments talk, "Oh, CC Dre, man, he got all them people." It's like you don't know what production is. You
Right.
have no idea. If you think that Dre's not a producer because he uses all these other producers or beat makers,
Mm-hmm.
you're crazy. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you're great. I mean, Dre is now at a level where he can orchestrate a lot of different things from a company perspective.
Like Quincy freaking Jones.
Right, he doesn't have to be the one that's actually pushing the button.
Yeah,
He's already put in the time, the energy, and the effort, and the work that needed to be done for years. Now he can sit back and conduct and
exactly.
orchestrate.
Exactly, and because when I see Quincy Jones, like in that documentary, he had brought back the original crew from
Mhm,
Thriller and Off
mhm.
the Wall, and they were kind of recreating, in particular, my favorite Michael Jackson song, "PYT."
PYT is a
It's my
joint.
favorite Michael Jackson song, hands down, ever.
PY, that's the
And
joint.
they were recreating the beat, and he had all the original musicians
Mhm.
doing their parts, isolated. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, so because Quincy Jones isn't on the drums or on the guitar,
It's in my head now.
he ain't do the beat, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
Because he ain't play the guitar or he ain't play the drums.
right.
Get out of here.
I mean, and that goes to which would be great to kinda talk
Or
about.
Rod Temperton doing the writing because Quincy didn't write it. Rod Temperton wrote it, so Quincy didn't. Like, shut
Yeah,
up.
but once you think about the concept of, and that is the topic that people talk about the most in the production community, beat maker versus producer, right? A beat maker, and not to get into the whole thing, right? But I mean, a beat maker actually is what it really says. They're making the beat,
The songwriter.
right? The producer is the one who knows how to orchestrate, the ones who knows how to organize and bring the people together. He knows what he's looking for. He's the visionary of the group. Yeah, he could be a person who presses the pads and presses the keys or
Listen,
write a song, but it doesn't technically
the
have to
next
be.
time I release any kind of music, or if I ever have a label and putting out music, I'm saying it right now for the record. I am going to have a distinction in my credits. I'm going to say beat produced by. Since you want this producer word, I say beat produced by,
Right.
song produced by. The beat produced by, song produced by.
Right.
Now, ideally, if you make the beat, let's come in and produce the song together.
Hmm.
That's a producer. But if you just send me a beat, if you send me a beat and you have nothing to do with it, and you don't hear nothing, you ain't around nothing, you did not produce the song.
Right. I mean, because production is more in depth and more thorough, right? It's working through the process with the artist, with the songwriter to create that body of work.
So I will give you that producer tag if you want, but it'll say beat produced by.
Right.
It'll be a separate line for song produced by. Straight up.
Straight up. It's like
Because
y'all. I mean, in reality, there should be, and I get it why people have that argument, but there is an absolute classification for it. I mean, production is more involved than beat making. But
yeah,
anyway, that's y'all. I mean, y'all know that y'all.
but shout out to the greatest producer of all time,
Quincy
Quincy Jones.
Jones.
May your legacy live forever. We love you. We are so thankful for like your contributions,
Hmm.
and most of all, from my perspective, thank you for the inspiration and the
Hmm.
motivation
Hmm.
to just go out there. And I think that Quincy Jones doc, I haven't watched this since it came out. It
I'm
came
gonna
out
have to go back and see.
in 2018. I think that's something to watch once a year, man.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it.
Like you just watch it, pop it in once a year,
I,
man, and just
I'm gonna
get
have to go back and watch it.
inspired, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's 2 hours. It's 2 hours, a long documentary, but it's good,
but it's
man.
great. It doesn't even feel like 2 hours after you're done watching, and you're gonna feel mad inspired afterwards.
Absolutely,
Right?
man.
And so,
Absolutely. So, rest in peace, man.
rest in peace.
We were talking about Dre though. I gotta segue. We're talking about Dre in the ICU, man.
Mhm.
I gotta give props to, and I hope that like the marketing and we live in a real crucial time in the music business for a lot of reasons. We're gonna
Mhm.
get into some of those today for a lot of reasons, but one of those reasons is this whole thing about ageism and older rappers doing their thing. LL Cool J put out an album this year. I thought it was a dope album. You know what I'm saying? He did a promotion and marketing, but it kind of like came and went. Hopefully they can still
Mhm.
push that record a little bit.
Right.
And now it's Snoop's turn up the bat. Snoop Dogg announced his album release date for Missionary. I think it's
Missionary.
December 13th,
I
December
think
12th,
so.
something like that.
Yeah. Mhm.
Which is ironic because that's around the same time that The Chronic came out in 1992, I believe,
Mm.
if I'm not mistaken.
When did Doggy Style come out though?
That came out, I think, 93 or 94, I believe.
Yeah,
But
but I was gonna find out when.
yeah,
When?
but while you doing that, I just want to give props to them because they dropped the first single to the Missionary album, "Gorgeous," Snoop Dogg featuring Janae Aiko, and that is my favorite song at the moment. I
Oh,
probably played
really?
that song a good 30 times, easy, since it came out a couple days ago.
Mm.
I play that song. It's produced so well. Janae Aiko, her singing is
Oh
so
yeah, she
great.
got.
The musicianship on there is so excellent, and I think it's produced by, I believe, it's like 4 different. It's Dre and his ICU team.
All right.
Fred Wreck is on there as a producer.
I think Focus is on there as a producer too. I think.
Not sure,
I
I don't
think.
know, but there's a lot of. But the song is amazing. It's an amazing song. So like, I just hope because we saw LL with the experience. Because here's the thing, it's gonna take a little bit of adjusting for the whole hip hop industry.
Mm-hmm.
How we handle our OG rappers putting out new music. How we
Mm-hmm.
handle them.
Mm-hmm.
So LL was first, and now Snoop is coming up. And I think that like, and I ain't talking about like, when you are older and putting out music for the love. I'm talking about competing commercially in your 50s, competing commercially, because we know it's a young man's sport,
Right.
but I believe it's a rightful place for our veterans and
For
OGs.
sure.
And the music is amazing. So I want to see like how it does and how it's promoted and how Death Row Records / Interscope, how they I'm watching it now. And even on an independent level, we can take notes because, you may have been independently rapping for years and you up in age, and maybe you're starting up in age.
Right.
Whatever the case, whatever the industry does on the major label, I think on the indie label you can mirror that in our own way.
For sure.
So pay attention to it. It's real crucial. But shout out, the song is gorgeous, man. I love that song. I hope it does
I'm
well
about to check
because
it out. I have not heard it yet.
oh my gosh,
Not heard it
that's
yet.
what I've been singing since I came in here. I've
Oh,
been
that's
singing
what you've
that
been.
song.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's.
It's
I was going to ask you what that was.
it's infectious. The song is infectious,
Okay.
man. And
So,
yeah.
so Doggy Style came out November 23rd, 1993.
Okay.
They should release Missionary in that same day, but obviously it's going to come out on a different day.
Yeah.
But
But the Chronic came out in December 92.
oh, that.
Yeah. December 92. I want to say December 12th or December 21st. One of those two. It's a 2 and a 1 in there, I believe. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Okay. So Missionary is 12/13. It'd have been dope if it was on. That would make it what, almost 30 years. Well, I got a calculator.
I think 32 years. I
got a calculator. I'm not even ashamed.
31 years, I believe. 31.
I'm not even ashamed to 31 years. But it still would have been dope to release it on the same day that Doggy Style came out.
Yeah.
Since this is the sequel to Doggy Style.
Yeah.
That would have been.
And I will say this, since we're talking about it though, he released a track listing on there, and
yeah, I saw it.
Not to be nitpicky, but like, if you're gonna have a sequel to Doggy Style and you don't got no OG Death Row in there, no
zero,
no Warren G, no Lady of Rage, no Dog Pound. Who else is on there? RBX. I mean, nobody from Mr. Malik. I mean, I'm naming all the features on there. Come on, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like, all right, like, shout out to Sting and Jelly Roll and all that. Shout out to all that.
Yeah, I guess it's they had the OGs on Doggy Style. Now it's trying to have the new G's on. No,
Sting ain't a new G.
I know. I'm just saying.
Eminem and 50 Cent.
I'm trying to justify why he.
Janae Eco, I guess, is kind of new, right?
Why he doesn't have.
So that's the only
Warren G and all them.
That reminds me of when they did the 213 album. Remember the 213? But no Warren G beats on there. Yeah. So but
I guess
shout out, but listen, let me stop being a Debbie Downer because I'm so hyped for this album. I'm so hyped for it, and I'm curious to see how the marketing and promotion and how the hip hop community reacts to it, because hip hop media, man. We're gonna get into this too.
We're gonna get into that. Oh my
hip hop media though gotta do better. Or so many gripes I have. That's the reason. That's one reason why I want to be in hip hop media. We can talk about it.
We can start off
because I got so many gripes with hip hop media. But
with that,
you see some of the OGs like Elliott Wilson constantly beefing with the younger generation and all that. But it's like, I think the OG journalists should be championing the OG rappers.
For sure.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's okay to chase around the new rappers because you still got to do your job as a hip hop. But you should be the one doing 100 Snoop Dogg posts a day, or you should be really championing the OGs.
You should be,
instead of just trying to chase all the young folks, trying to chase what's hot. You ought to be championing and spearheading the promotion and the PR of the OGs. I mean, shoot.
Well,
Common and P Rock had a dope album this year.
Dope album
that a lot of the media doesn't talk about enough.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
You sure talking about the next and the next that person and this person. But so here's the thing, right? So when you talk about hip hop media, hip hop journalism, and these hip hop media outlets focusing on younger artists versus older artists, they should just be performing journalism. I think that's the first thing. Is I don't think that they're performing journalism in its purest form, because journalism is all about documenting, researching, telling the story of in this case, the genre and the culture. So if LL is putting out an actual album, you should, as part of your journalistic abilities, should be focusing on LL putting out an album. You know, that should get as much attention as Lil Durk's album or Lil whoever's album, right? If Snoop's coming out with an album, that should get the same amount of attention as whoever else's album. I think we live in that age of we always have to gravitate toward what is hot and what's hot, right? I got to do what's what hot because that's what people want to hear. Younger people are like, I want to hear Snoop Dogg album, I want to hear LL Cool J album. Now we do, right? We want to hear LL Cool J album and Snoop and whoever our older, lyricists are. Rakim. Rakim came out with an album today. I'm gonna buy it today.
He
But
had an album this year.
I know. I'm just saying, like, we get another
They-
one.
they-
Like,
that- I believe that he produced the whole album too.
because,
He produced it himself.
but how much attention
Now,
did
that got close to nothing.
that album get from that perspective?
That got close to nothing.
Almost nothing.
That got close
Right.
to nothing, man.
Almost nothing. So
Yeah, we need more
Right.
hip hop like balance.
Mhm.
I would say, because all this came about. I was thinking about like the whole thing with Kendrick Lamar doing an interview with the Harper's Bazaar magazine,
Mhm.
and he did an interview, and SZA was the one to interview him,
Yeah.
and she pretty much asked him what people would consider softball questions.
Right.
She didn't really. She asked one little question about the whole Drake beef, and she didn't
Mhm.
really. And even then, he gave kind of like a standard answer, and they kind of moved on.
Right.
So it wasn't like. So a lot of journalists were like, "Man, how come he going to that publication? How come he ain't going nowhere? Hip hop and answering these questions that we want to know. Why are you mad at Drake? Why are you beefing with Drake? What's the whole
Mhm.
thing? Can you all resolve it? Can y'all piece it up? That's the stuff we really want to know. How
Mhm.
come he not coming nowhere?" And then I think Punch tweeted like, "We don't go to y'all because y'all whack, whatever, And I think Punch kind of has a point there. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna get into
But here's my thing though. I think why not, like, if you're an artist, do your own interviews. You got an Instagram page, right?
look.
Sit down and talk to the people. You don't got to go to.
True.
You can have your own platform, right? I can
True.
sit down. Trust me, if Kendrick Lamar went on his Instagram, not his burner, he got a burner account, not his burner Instagram, but his actual real Instagram, and like
Who?
Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
If he went on his own Instagram, press record, and gave it and answer questions, that thing would travel so fast.
It would.
So you don't even gotta go nowhere. You can just
I
talk.
really don't. But we don't want to hear that because I want to have people over.
What I'm saying though is like
that's true though.
that's kind of what it comes to if you think, because I see both sides of it with the Kendrick thing. Yeah,
So
I would love to hear him answer some tougher questions, but at the same time, like a lot of these outlets are so like lame.
So here's the question though. Here's the question, right? So the first question is, why did Kendrick choose to go to Harper's Bazaar versus any other type of hip hop media or any other media outlet? Was it because he knew that if he went to Harper's Bazaar, that their focus was solely on the music, the project, the Super Bowl, and that's it? Or it was the kind of the ability to skate past the quote unquote hip hop media that's going to ask him
How do you feel about Lil Wayne not being there?
the
Are you going to invite
down and
Lil Wayne?
dirty, gossipy, drama-y type. Harper's Bazaar is not going to ask you those types of questions, right? I mean, I don't think their platform is built on asking those types of questions and creating that type of dialogue and or drama or gossip on their platform.
Some of it is drama, but some of it is journalism though, because we would like to know, how do you feel about Lil Wayne not being chosen? Do you feel comfortable going to New Orleans? Are you going to invite Lil Wayne? Are you thinking about inviting Lil Wayne? They might be considered. Now those questions will be twisted.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say.
It'll get messy from third parties,
right?
But straight from the horse's mouth, those are questions that like a real journalist should ask.
But I think a real journalist. So when I'm saying real journalist, I mean someone who has studied journalism, someone who's practiced journalism for a certain period of time, understands the art of asking questions and interviewing people, and summarizing and doing those types of things, right? Like journalism. they know how to formulate those questions to where the questions are palatable to be asked and to be answered by that person. Hip hop media, most of these like, well, how you feel about Kendrick that going to the thing, right?
Of course,
Like
yeah.
it's not going to be
I can see Noriega now. Just
yeah, it's not going to be receptive as an actual question. It's going to be received as a question that is asked
being messy.
to be messy, right? And journalism isn't that. True journalism isn't to be.
Well, it is no.
In its truest
I'm gonna push
essence.
back because journalists are super messy, but they'll dress it up a certain way,
They will
but they
dress it
know
up.
good and well they being
will dress
messy.
it up. They will dress
That's
it up.
just just like
Nice and pretty though.
it's like how DeMar DeRozan after the Sacramento Kings played in Toronto the other night, the journalist literally in a post game press conference asked him about Drake, talking bad about him.
Right.
A journalist, a NBA beat writer, asked DeMar DeRozan about Drake dissing him on broadcast.
Right.
Now that's journalism, right?
Well, that part may not be. That part may be like I want to do something messy. I mean, because when you think about,
or like, sorry,
no, I'm saying when you think about the quick type of soundbite world that we live in, people gravitate toward that. If you want views, you want clicks. Yeah, let me throw something out there that's going to catch people. That's going to catch people attention.
Yeah,
not talking about it and just asking him how do you play the game and scoring your baskets and doing that.
I was just like yesterday with Derek Carr from New Orleans. Michael Thomas was going off on Derek Carr during the game, tweeting. The reporter asked him about Michael Thomas' tweets, and he had a whole thing about responding to a tweet on the podium, and they talk about it today in the news cycle. Not about this is crazy.
And so that's the new age. This is the new world of journalism.
Legit journalists asking these questions at press conferences. So now it's like, I think the waters are kind of murky now.
Clickbait. I think personally they're doing it for more clickbait than the art of journalism, right? So that's my opinion. I think it's more clickbait. We need to get as many eyes and ears on what we have to listen to what we got to say and eyes to see what we're doing versus just being true journal. Let me just tell you the story.
Well, that's why I said that. I think I might have said it on here before. I think 90% of hip hop journalism are culture vultures.
Well, I mean, what
they do culture vultures. Anytime
what did Punch say? 90. He said 90%. What was his actual stat? Hold on, I'm all about the statistics. He said, no, he said most of you guys are trash. Just my opinion. He said, I respect hip hop journalism and feel it's needed in its truest. That's in its truest form. It helps the culture alive. It helps keep the culture alive. But it's only a few real ones left. He didn't mention any of who the real ones were. Mm-hmm. Most of you guys are trash. Just my opinion. That's why artists don't want to talk to you, because a lot of times artists go into the platforms and they get bashed and trashed and gossiped on and dramas created. Like, I would have hated to be an artist and went on what's the name of the podcast with Joe and Ack that they had?
Everyday Struggle.
I would hate it to be on that. I would have hated to be on that show as an artist, bro, because to me it was just 100% messy. I think what's her name? Nadeska. Yeah, Nadeska. I think she was trying to keep it in some of its purest form of let's interview the artist.
I ain't gonna front. That was like a legendary show, man.
It was an
entertaining show, and it's like,
and that's the point.
It ain't been nothing like it since.
Nope. It was very entertaining
because with Ack and Joe Budden,
very entertaining.
They should have paid them whatever bag they wanted. They should have said, "Here's a check. How much money y'all want?" Like,
from an entertainment perspective, yes, it was awesome.
I mean, the Migos was ready to fight them.
I mean, but see, and once again, that's that trash thing, right? Yeah. That's that drama. That's that gossip. That's that messy
Who
stuff.
Who got left off Bad and Bougie?
Who been left off Bad and Bougie? What? Who left off Bad and Bougie? What? What?
Man, let me tell you.
Wait. Before we, I like the clip where they took and they showed all the different people's reaction to what was happening. Oh man, that was fantastic, bro. That was, people were like, what's going on over there? Like,
yeah.
But when you think about it, so once again, Punch didn't name who the real ones were, and he didn't indicate who the trashy ones were. Yeah. But I can guarantee if you go to the platforms and all you hear them talk about is gossip and drama and messy stuff, they're the one.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say they are the one. So
But I guess the question becomes, why don't, like, Kendrick Lamar had the biggest song of the summer. You know what I'm saying? Probably the biggest song of the hip hop song of the year,
hip hop song of the
but he's
year.
done no major interviews.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? Eminem just put out a big album, you know, one of the best hip hop selling albums sales wise of the year, no interviews. J. Cole put out an album this year, the Might
Might
Delete
delete
Later,
later.
no
No
interviews.
interviews.
So why are like the top artists, you know, not doing any
Um,
interviews? With
You
hip
know
hop
why?
media in particular.
Because they trash.
But it's like, but
That-
should that be alarming to hip hop media? Should
it
that
should.
should that like sound some alarms?
It
Like,
should.
okay, what's wrong here? Because we want to preserve our culture, right?
True.
Keep our culture alive and keep it thriving. Well, why? How come the top rappers aren't doing any? You know, it's to me that's like an alarm should be going off
Hmm.
somewhere. We should really be like, from a media perspective. You know, we're media, and that should set off some alarms, you know. Of course, and then Drake been in the middle of this battle. He ain't did no
He ain't did no
interviews,
interviews.
so it's kind of
None
like,
of them.
you know, I don't know,
None of
man.
them have done really any interviews, and that's the
Yeah,
question. It should be alarming. I mean, not to name hip hop medias, but where are they going to go? They're going to go to
Drink Champs,
Drink Champs,
Joe Budden
Joe
podcast.
Budden,
Um,
Ray Daniels,
yeah.
Vlad.
Shout out to Ray, been getting a lot of interviews too.
Ray been getting some great interviews.
So
We had Ray on the show, right? Ray has been getting some great interviews. But here's the
yeah, Vlad TV, Breakfast Club,
but see, Vlad TV, Breakfast Club,
No Jumper, Adam
No Jump.
22.
I mean, but here's the thing: are they messy though? When you go on that show, is the experience that you have as an artist, is it an experience that is is it a great experience? Are you there to talk about your music and your life without feeling like you're being bashed or interrogated or
Yeah,
bad mouth or put off or looked down upon or talk negative about? And most of the ones that I see, they do that.
yeah, man.
So
I think it's very messy,
if I'm
and
an artist, why do I want to go?
yeah, I agree with that, man.
Why? Prime example. Prime example. I'm not gonna name who it was because because he asked me not to name or even ask any questions about it. And so I had a gentleman on the show that I interviewed, and this individual is related to somebody that's ridiculously famous. And prior to the interview, once again, this is journalism right here, right? Now, once again, I didn't go to school for journalism. My background is in learning and development, asking questions and training people and doing things like that. But he asked me, he was like, "Can you send me the questions beforehand?" Now, normally I don't send questions beforehand, right? I just like asking
That happens,
questions.
but every now and then you get somebody that wants the
Every now and
questions
then
ahead of
you
time.
get a person who wants the question.
Yep.
Okay, I was like, great. No problem. Cool. Here's the question I want to ask. You know, and I said also the questions are going to depend on what you also talk about. And then I will formulate additional questions. I said, but here's something you got to know. I don't gossip. We're not messy. We don't do drama. He was like, great. He said, because you can't ask me any questions about this. I was like, oh, I would have never even thought about that. I didn't even know until you just mentioned it. I would have never even considered it until you
Yeah.
just said it. But see, that's the thing. Hip hop media wants to dig into, they want to press those little buttons of hot topics that people know will incite other people to come to your platform. And that's how those platforms, I mean, if I really sit back and think about it, that's how those platforms grow exponentially because they talk about the drama, they talk about what's messy, and they talk about the trashy type stuff.
Yeah.
And those get the views. I mean, I'm just going to be honest, they get the views, you know? And so,
Yeah, I've had that before. People want to talk about stuff that's like, I'm like, I would have never mentioned it anyway.
yeah, I'm not going to mention that.
That's
Why?
not what I'm here for.
I'm not here for that. I'm here to talk
Yeah,
about you, your journey, your story.
for
I'm not
sure.
going to ask you questions that, oh, hey, when you was with that person, did it cause you to do this and then this? I don't want to. Actually, I don't even care what that is because that's not helpful to me. To me, that's not helpful. How does a person who's going to watch the Indie Unplugged, what are they going to gain from knowing that this situation happened with you in that situation, this person? How does that help move their career
Exactly.
forward?
We're trying to
You
be
don't. They just
in the service business. We service the end user.
they serve as mess. That's
And it's like, and don't get me wrong, if some of it could be entertaining and great, that's the better. We don't want to
Mhm.
put you to sleep over here, but at the same time, like,
Facts.
you know, I think we dope enough just to be dope enough just to kind
I
of be
think so
ourselves
too.
and be a little bit entertaining,
I
a
think
little
so
bit in
too.
there. But you don't got to resort to mess. But here's the thing that really kind of like was an indicator for me that we really in trouble was the BET Awards. I don't know if it was the BET Awards or the BET Hip Hop Awards. The BET Awards gave Shannon Sharp Club Shay Shay Best Hip Hop Platform Award.
But he's not a hip hop platform.
What in the world are we coming to with hip hop media?
But he's not a hip
And
hop.
the thing about
He's
it
not a
is,
hip hop platform.
how does BET even feel comfortable, number one, nominating him, number two, giving him the award for a hip hop platform?
But he's not a hip hop
That's so
platform.
disrespectful. I don't know if it's, I don't know what's worse, the disrespect that they giving to hip hop or the fact that hip hop don't got any quality media that can even like stand there.
Mm.
So I don't know which word. I'm offended on both sides of it. This is
Mm.
ridiculous.
Does hip hop not have any quality media that could have been in that category that could have been
Respectable
nominated
media.
and have won best hip hop media platform? When Shannon Sharp, Club Shay Shay is not a hip hop
No, it's not.
media
He's
platform.
an ex-football player, sports analyst.
Is it?
And here's the thing, though. I will give him this, though. He's excellent at what he does. He has a great team. They give him the questions. You could tell that his team researched the
Yep.
questions. He asks them professionally. You know, he really, really good at what he does. Great journalistic. He's learned something. Over the years since he retired.
Right,
But
right.
he's not hip hop, bro.
That's the thing.
Cut it out.
He's not.
Cut it
He's
out.
not even R&B. He's not even music
I mean,
in general.
if they gave it to All the Smoke with Steven Jackson, and I wouldn't like it, but I would understand it a little bit more because at least Steven Jackson raps at least.
Right.
So at least,
What
but
about like Drink Champs? They get a Drink Champs or Math Hoffa or
they're rappers. Math Hoffa is a rapper.
he is a rapper.
Noriega
He
is
is
a rapper.
Math Hoffa is a rapper though.
Yeah,
Yeah, these are rappers.
These are rappers, and the majority of their guests are hip hop. Shannon Sharp can't say the same. Now he's hip hop adjacent because the culture's tapped in with him. So
Right.
he
But he's
you can say he's hip hop in that sense, hip hop adjacent maybe,
but
but no, cut it out. That is so. So it's like
I
I'm
mean,
telling you right now,
give it to the
as far
Breakfast
as
Club or somebody.
as far as hip hop media, hip hop journalism, it's time to sound the alarm because it's a dumpster fire right now. Hip hop journalism is a dumpster fire. 90% of it is culture vulture type activity going on.
True.
It's not respectable.
Nope.
And we gotta like change the narrative.
That's why I like having guests on and knowing that they could be comfortable coming to the Indie Unplugged, interviewing with us, because they know that our intent is uncovering their story, their journey, so that and everything that we talk about is entertaining and educational to the listener. Our goal is to ensure that you, as the people who are tapping in with us, listening to what we talk about, helps move your career forward. And that's the thing I hate about just journalism and everything is a lot of it's just clickbaity. A lot of it's just trashy. They just want you to, and I'll click off. Trust me, I'll click off on it. I hate watching stuff on YouTube, and it's like, oh, this person's talking about doing this, and let's listen. And then there's nothing but I'm like, click.
Yeah.
And it's like clickbait stuff. I will not.
Or
I'm
the
done.
title is very misleading.
Very misleading.
The title is real clickbaity, and you really listen to it, and it wasn't even that.
Wasn't even that. I'm like, what? But people want to know because people are curious, and they want to. People love drama, and so that's why they love gossip, and they want to be involved in those things. But okay, so in that tweet that Punch talked about, there was a comment by a journalist named Lottie Dottie. Did you see that? Did you see what she said? I thought that was a great summary, and I was like, oh, I got to talk about that because so she said, a journalist is not a podcaster, is not a content creator, is not a blogger, is not a media personality, is not a streamer. Some, myself included, are multiple things, but within each category are different expectations, code of ethics, barriers, audiences, and outcomes. And I was like, that's a beautiful summary right there. Because just because a person is a podcaster doesn't mean they're a journalist. Just because they're a content creator doesn't mean they're a podcast. It doesn't mean they're a journalist. They just like research and telling stories, or they just like talking about people. But it doesn't mean they're a journalist, right? That doesn't constitute journalism. Just jumping on a mic, jumping in front of a camera, talking about something doesn't make you a journalist.
Yeah, but I'll say this though. To me, it's all media. It's not all
It's
journalism,
all
but it's all
media.
media, and that's where I'm coming
It's
from.
all
I'm talking
media.
about hip hop media,
It's all media.
the streamers, the podcasters.
But here's the thing, man. We
got to fix this, man.
can't control.
This is crazy.
That's the thing.
Club Shay Shay, the best hip hop platform. What is going on?
I mean, who regulates that? Who controls that? I mean, you got YouTubers that are all out there talking about all types of stuff under the guise of we're hip hop media, we're journalists, and it's like, no, you're just a person in your house on a mic talking about what you like to talk about, whether it's educational, entertainment, or trashy, messy type stuff.
And shout out to, look, it's a free world.
Free
do what
world.
you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I'm never gonna go against capitalism. Like if it's a demand for it and you supply the demand.
Sometimes it ain't demand for it.
No, the numbers say otherwise though.
Sometimes
like, people love to mess.
People love to.
They love to mess, man.
I'll agree with that. People love to mess.
You know,
they do. That's the thing. They love to mess.
They love to mess, man. They love to mess.
They feed off of it. It's like it feeds some type of space in their psyche or in their soul somewhere that they have to have mess in their life and toxicity somewhere in their being. Like, why though? Like, why do you have to have that as a part of your being? Why do you have to intake that into what you do as what feeds you? You know, the saying.
Why do we go eat donuts all day? You know what I'm saying?
I don't.
Like, why do we?
I don't, but I love them. I don't.
Exactly. Why do we?
Because I know if I do, I'm gonna continue to gain weight and get fat, and I want to do that.
I'm just saying, like, it's the same kind of thing, though. You know, same reason we go to Burger King or whatever. Like,
I don't.
People love Burger King.
People got to learn how to make choices. You know, the eyes are the lamp of the body, right?
But at the same time, though, that's just like, I'm not vegan or nothing like that, but some people like say, like, okay, for those that think vegan is a healthier way, and you find out, you know, places like Slutty Vegan, you know, this vegan food this is good. This tastes real good. You know what I'm saying? I can rock with this. So now I'm eating vegan now because so in other words, you and I and all the hip hop media has some integrity, we got to find a way to serve the meals where it's tasty.
Mm-hmm.
The healthier, the healthier meals that's just as tasty as you know what I'm saying? So that's the challenge. Make a healthy meal.
Make it healthy, and that's kind of what
make some vegan hip hop.
I'm glad I like that analogy. I kind of see that as that being the mantra of the Indie Unplugged and We Create Music TV, is that we want to give you healthy food, healthy choices like
that taste good.
That tastes really good.
No GMO, no. What is it called? No
GMO,
no
gluten free.
Yeah.
Right? We gluten free.
You know what I mean?
Like
you don't even know the difference. You chopping it up. You know,
we don't contain any bioengineered ingredients, right? We good. No MSG over here.
For sure, man. But speaking of like opposite of vegan beef, I think we got another issue in hip hop that's coming to a head. This issue is coming right to a head right now. Again, this is a pivotal time for hip hop, man. You got Young Thug and Big Meech free. And you got Durk going in. You got him coming out and going in. You know, I think Bankroll Freddie got sentenced to 12 years. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, Lil Durk is innocent to proven guilty, but the federal agents, the federal authorities, who have like I think a 90% something conviction rate, are charging him with murder for hire.
Murder for hire.
For trying to kill Quando Rondo. Rondo. Which they tried to kill him. That's an attempted murder charge. Didn't kill him. They did kill his cousin. Rest in peace. I forget his name. Rest in peace to his cousin. He got murdered as a retaliation for rest in peace King Von.
Fulio, right? Was it Fulio? No, it wasn't Fulio.
No.
Different one. Yeah.
No,
to make sure.
Different one. Yeah. That was Florida.
Yeah, that was Florida.
So here you got King Von dead. Quando Rondo cousin dead. Lil Durk and crew facing a long prison sentence all over some rap beef. You know what I'm saying?
Is it?
So so the question becomes, you know, do you want to live these raps? It's
Mm,
the topic keeps coming up, but it's coming to a head now because Lil Durk was seen as like the realest of the real. You know what I'm saying?
hmm.
Everybody told him to slide for Vaughn. Which translation means get your get back for killing King Vaughn. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? For King Vaughn's murder. And apparently, allegedly, of course, Durk again is innocent to proven guilty. But according to the feds, Lil Durk slid for Vaughn and tried to have Quando Rondo killed, and did get somebody murdered. So again, are y'all ready to stop trying to live these raps now? I mean, Young Thug was in jail what 2 years, 3 years, fighting his
Hmm.
case over lyrics that the prosecution said described his activities, his
Mm,
street. YFN Lucci, who was beefing with Thug
right.
in the midst of all this, been in jail for years. He's supposed to be getting out in January, but it's like if you continue to live these raps, you're gonna die or go to prison. So at what point? It's two choices though. This is what I want to ask the audience. You either stop talking about the killing and altogether and just do like gospel or positive
Right.
or maybe
Hmm.
maybe love songs to girls or something like that.
R&B singers.
Yeah, you stop doing that, or make the art you want to make with whatever kind of authenticity you come from, but make it clear that I am not living this life. I'm not walking around trying to settle no scores. I am an entertainer that makes entertaining music. The content of it is authentic because I used to live it. I come from it. I know about it, but I am not living it. And call me what you want. Call me soft, but this is just entertainment. So either one or the other. Either you stop talking about it or you talk about it and say, look, this is just entertainment. I'm not living it, and stop trying to
Mm.
live it. Period. Because
Well,
because trying to talk about it and live it, we gotta stop. We gotta get that mess out of hip hop because it's causing us to die, go to jail, and it's influencing these kids.
mhm.
And furthermore, you got people outside the culture of other races and ethnicities trying to be hard and trying to like slide and trying to do all this and being
Right.
these Malibu most wanted, you know,
This is one of my favorite movies, by the way.
type of
But
characters or CB4.
see,
You know what I'm saying? We,
right.
we got to stop this stuff,
But
man.
I mean, so here's so as you when you sent that over, I really sat. I had to sit and think about this part. Is it finally going to be a wake up call for rappers to stop trying to live their raps? I don't think they're living their raps. I think the foundation is, or the issue, the main issue is that you have, once again, innocent until proven guilty, but I'm going to say it this way. You have criminals who become rappers. I think that's the start of it. I don't think they are rappers who became criminals or rappers who became murder for hire people or who wanted to get this dude or slide for this dude or do that dude in. Or I think it's the opposite. I think they were already living this lifestyle, and then they loved to do music and they saw that as a way to generate income, and boom, now they became rappers. But still, this is their real life right here, right? They're um, say it that way, but they're real criminals. You know what I'm saying? Like your regular old street dudes selling drugs. I mean, think about when we had hip hop, growing up, 80s, 90s. I mean, people were drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? Like they were drug dealers. That's how
But they
they
were the ones in the background financing it, though.
financing it. Well, some of the rappers were. Come on, we allegedly. I'll say allegedly. Yeah, right. Talking about journalism. Allegedly were drug dealers themselves, being rappers, and then becoming rappers as a way to get out of the game that they were in, that drug game, that crime, whatever you want to label it as, right? They saw it as a way to get out of that and not to be involved in those type of activities anymore. But I think it's opposite. I think that we have people who are actual street dudes, criminal type, doing criminal type activities that have become rappers, and now that life has bled over into their music, right? Because you asked the question, um, Do rappers have to prove to their audience that they're authentic and really about that life? I don't think they're trying to prove it to their audience.
Yes, they are.
I think they're trying to prove it to each other.
And their audience.
Still.
They want the people to know that I'm a real one.
Yeah,
And I think we got to do away with that. I
but
think the criminals that you mentioned
wait.
who are entering it, we got to let them know, look, you're a criminal, that has to stop, or else you're not welcome here.
But I think it's yeah.
We ain't signing you to no deals.
I don't think they're trying to prove it to their audience. I think they know their audience loves that. I think they're trying to prove it to each other. Oh, I know you rap. I'm rap. You from that clique over there. I'm from this clique over here. I'm gonna talk about you in my songs. We gonna come slide on your neighborhood, right? We ain't back in the day. We ain't call it slide. You know, so that, you know,
Drive by.
yeah, it was drive. Right, we ain't slide through. You know, but I think they're trying to prove it to each other. It's me against you, or my clique versus your clique. But we're making music about all of this because we know the audience loves it. But we're not really trying to prove it to them. We're trying to prove it to each other. I need you to know that I'm about that life. My block about that life. My street, my city. We about that.
I think they're trying to do
We
both.
about that life.
I think they're trying to prove it to each other and the audience because there's a mystique when you think that like they're really living it. It's
They're
like,
really living that life.
it's like, oh man, because we all, as a consumer, we'll watch somebody crash out
Mhm.
on live TV.
We'll watch.
We'll watch y'all shoot each other up on
That's
TV
right.
and murder each other.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So we'll watch y'all to the death. We'll watch y'all fight to the death, gladiator style.
Yep.
So the consumer, and I say we, not me literally, but the consumers don't care. They'll watch you die.
They don't care
and
at
crash all, and they'll go to the next one. When you dead or in jail, RIP or free so and so, and go to the next
Mhm.
thug rapper.
But it could be that they're trying to prove it to their audience. I believe they're really trying to prove it to each other. Yeah, I think they're like, oh, our audience needs to know that we live this life. But I think it really is about each other, because all the activities that they're doing aren't activities that are in the public eye. I mean in the public eye as it being broadcasted in that way. It's
Trust me, some rappers always snitch on each other. That's why they're taking pictures with guns because they can't help
I think they
themselves.
take pictures with guns because they stupid.
No, but they want people to know, look, I'm doing this for real. And even like
But
they keep playing this clip from Lil Durk and Academics talking, right?
Mhm.
And Academics was asking him, do you get bothered by people saying slide for Vaughan? And people are using this clip saying Durk kind of like was telling him himself, because he said they ain't saying that no more. Yeah, I don't think they're saying that no more. I don't think they be saying that too much no more. I don't think
Mm.
and it's kind of like they're trying to say that he was alluding to.
He was alluding to like, yeah, you know why they ain't saying it no more.
Yeah, so it's kind of like people
right.
they be itching to kind of like wear that.
That-
Even though they
that's that
know
messy
it will
right
get them
there.
in trouble.
You're right.
Like the guy Straight Drop who got convicted of killing Young Dolph.
Mhm.
Literally a week or two after the murder, he's already a suspect. They're talking about him. He's posting pictures with all this money he got. Because he got paid, actually, because the one guy got paid $800, but Straight Drop got paid his thousands. So he got the money, and with his cars, he did a video, and it's like because he's thinking that it's gonna help elevate his rap career.
Right. Yeah.
Like I killed Dolph, and look, I got this money here. You know what I'm saying? So these fools, they itching to tell you what they done did.
Should it be stopped? Like that's your question, right? Should hardcore gangster street drill rap be done away with altogether? I mean, that's kind of like the argument that I would love to be able to have D1 over here one day and just.
Oh yeah, me too. Because I don't agree. Because I'm of the mind that the music is fine
and just dig into a lot of stuff. Like I would love to have
because
D1
I enjoy the music, me personally, and there's a lot of
Mhm.
consumers who enjoy that music, like 21 Savage,
Mhm.
walk a nigga down, walking.
Yeah,
but it's like I work out to that. I play basketball to that, and it's like there's a lot of consumers like me, but don't make me suffer because somebody else can't handle it.
But here's the question, though. The question you ask is, should hardcore gangster street drill rap, murder rap, or whatever this is, should it be done away with altogether? And if it's that type of music that's causing these type of actions to take place, should it be done away with?
I'm never going to go against freedom of speech because I grew up in the era of Two Live Crew and NWA fighting for their right to say whatever they wanted to say. And I'm never going to say they can't say what they want to say. Because like I said, I listened to all that then, straight out of Compton.
But then
I heard Special Ed say that NWA ruined hip hop. when they came out with, because they pretty much NWA. They weren't the first gangster rappers, but they pretty much were the
They put it
ones
all on the map. They
that
did.
started the trend of
Right.
gangster rapping, of cussing and killing and
Yep.
all this stuff in your music.
F the police.
Yeah,
All that.
gangster talk about
Gangsta,
doing
gangsta.
drive-bys and
Right.
all this stuff.
Yep.
Like, it's I love that, but I'm a big fan of like Goodfellas and
Mhm.
The
I love
Godfather
Goodfellas.
and
You think I'm funny?
yeah, exactly.
I love
Rest
Goodfellas.
in peace,
Great
Ray
movie.
Liotta. But I love all that. So for me, I can take it at face value.
Mhm.
My problem though is the culture saying that that's real and you just got to live like that. No, it's not. These are entertaining songs
These are entertainment.
from people who have a firsthand account of being there
Right.
in the danger.
Right.
They've escaped the danger
Because
they out of that lifestyle. They're not living it right now.
here's the thing. I don't expect Al Pacino, Robert De Niro,
The slide.
Ray Liotta, not Danny DeVito,
Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci. No, I don't expect none of them to be living that life, bro. Like of any of the characters that they play.
So why do we
on
expect that
movie.
rappers to live that life?
I don't.
But you,
they do.
You and I don't, but the culture does. That's
They do.
That's the problem.
Because they talk about it.
And if they not,
You know why?
if they not, are you fake? You ain't living.
You
it.
know why? Because your raps are supposed to be a reflection of the life that you're supposed to be saying that you live.
I disagree with that.
But that's what it's supposed to be.
I think your rap should have authenticity. It should have authenticity, meaning that you have some kind of credibility. For example, the best, a lot of those people in Goodfellas were real mobsters.
Yeah.
A lot of the extras, a lot of a lot of the actors who were mobsters who got brought to Hollywood, and that made it more authentic. So if you come from that life, yes, we will eat it up.
That's why
But once you enter, we have to say you are not. We will not accept you bringing that mess to this industry. You will denounce these activities.
But how can you do that though? How can you do that and still? How can you do that and still honor freedom of speech?
We're not telling you can't rap about it.
But you just can't come over here and rap about it.
No, you can rap about it, but you cannot tell your audience that you are living it. You cannot like go around in interviews like
what if they are living it?
You can't live it. If you live it, we ain't do it. Here's the thing though.
If you live it, go live it over there in your own.
And it's crazy
separate...
because these labels, they get these insurance policies.
Of course they do.
So,
because they know they out here wilding out.
So no matter what, they're going to be covered anyway.
They're going to be covered anyway.
So they don't care.
I mean, it's the same reason why you have Hollywood actors or Hollywood companies, film companies that take out insurance on there. Like you got to have it. Like Tom Cruise has to have insurance.
Oh, yeah.
Jackie Chan has to have insurance. They out there doing crazy. Tom Cruise jumping off airplanes and stuff. He living that life for real. If something happened to Tom Cruise, they got to make sure
all I'm saying
all that
is
stuff is covered.
I love the street rap. I love it.
I love NWA.
To me, I love some of the new stuff.
I love Wu-Tang Clan.
I love some of the new stuff. I love 21 Savage. You know what I'm saying? Like, I listen to all that, but like, one of my favorites is G Herbo. I'm a big G Herbo fan. You know what I'm saying? But I don't expect G Herbo and 21 Savage. Cause I remember 21 Savage tweeted maybe about a year ago about like, put the guns down. We got to stop all this killing. Mm-hmm. And people were like, lighten them up. What a hypocrite. And he like, bruh, just because I make a song to me, I literally want you out there doing it. I want I want the violence to stop.
And so people like, but why are you making songs about it though?
Because he come from.
If you wanted to stop, why glorify it? Talk about something else.
Because I can side with you as far as maybe expanding your music a little bit.
Right.
You don't got to talk about it in every song. Like Spice One, he talking about only that.
I mean, talk about so with like NWA, right? And they talked about that in the beginning. They were like, we talk about what we see and what's happening within our community, right? Okay, talk about that. No, a lot of these rappers are actually talking about themselves physically committing that violent act or that crime.
And that's the point. Like you gotta, because you made a comment about real criminals entering the industry. Once you enter the industry, okay, this is your job now. Your income will come from this, so you don't have to commit any crimes anymore.
Nah,
so you should stop committing crimes.
Shoot, it's kind of like a when you go to an employer. Hey, every year we're gonna do a drug test, and then you got to submit 2 background checks every year, and you gotta they're not gonna but why? Because they're the ones kind of running the street hip hop urban culture community.
I just feel like I feel like if if I think I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, I feel like with the recent developments with Young Thug, Lil Durk and others, we gotta have a serious conversation about this, the messaging and the lifestyle.
But shouldn't these conversations have been had
I've been trying
with
for years.
with King Vaughn and
Yeah.
I always mess his name up. It's X extension, but
Oh, XX
yeah,
Tensio.
X extension. Yeah, XX. Yeah. I'm like, why so many X's in there? But how many people have been in and out of jail before Lil Durk and before Young Thug and before?
But I
How many
think
rappers have
but I think it's coming to a head now because Lil Durk is really, really big,
been killed before
really, really big. And Young
Lil
Thug is
Durk
big. And
and
I just
King
think that
Von and
like
all them?
I just think that like this has got to be a cautionary tale. You gotta like. But then some people say that Young Thug never learned because Young Thug had a tweet about rats the other day about let's do something with these rats, and it's like, bruh, it's like, do you want to go
Once
back?
again,
Are you trying to go back
once
right now?
again, they got to prove to the people that they with that they about. Peer pressure is a mother, boy. It's like
And the people too, because
you got
everybody want to know is gonna snitch. They're gonna snitch.
right,
Even with the Gunna situation, I loved it because it's like to be your proof that the music ain't real.
right.
Because he literally talked about not snitching. He got on the stand and told. So literally, like
so you know that
that
ain't
should be your
true,
evidence that this is entertainment. This
right?
ain't real life.
And it should be entertainment. But
Exactly.
then the thing is, it's entertainment, and I think the caveat is that people expect artists, rappers, to live that life. Like as an example, do I expect Tank and Omarion and Usher to be smashing every day? But they rap, they sing about it all the time, right? They be like, "Girl, I'll get in there and do this and do that." And
That's a little different. They probably
no,
do.
but no, I'm just saying
Because they probably got
well, I
unlimited
don't know.
access
I don't
to.
know. Tank married though. I don't think he better not be. But I'm just saying, like,
I hope he not. But I'm
I'm just
just
saying,
saying though,
like, but
I wouldn't judge either way because you
but
know why? It's easy to judge
but
if you don't
Tank
get
was
all that
married,
laid up at your
right?
feet every day.
But Tank was married, talking about uh when we no you married, your wife's over there, just like LL Cool J when he was talking about doing it and doing it and doing it. Well, his wife is right over there. Like,
Hey man,
you ain't really living that life. You ain't really doing that.
we don't know what they're doing.
Well, I hope they ain't doing that. But I'm just saying.
But even if they're not doing it, it's authentic because we know they could if they wanted
They
to.
could have been doing it.
Because they probably lined
Right.
up
They
waiting.
could.
And that's
I'm sure they
and as
coulda
a
could.
fan, all you want is authenticity, bro.
Authenticity.
Like if you had somebody like
But that's what I'm saying.
who wasn't appealing, talking about they doing it and doing it, it's like, bro, no, you're not.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, there are some rappers, there's some singers who probably couldn't say that. And you were like, no, you ain't really doing that.
Actually, you know what? I take that back because if you famous,
money will can bring anything.
It don't matter because
it don't matter. Money can bring anything.
Big Pun talk about what he used to do. I mean, it's like he's probably right because it's Big Pun.
It's big. Money will bring anything.
Money and fame, boy.
Money and fame will bring.
They'll line up like
everything, bro.
like it's fresh manna.
Right. They got no shame. Like, hey.
So we can argue about this all day long. I don't know if there's a definitive answer to it, but I think we ought to be looking at that because it's coming to a head.
It's coming to a head.
And I think people like you mentioned D1. Again, I don't completely agree with his stance, but I love the fact that he's talking about these messages because either you're going to go the D1 route and stop talking about it, or you're going to go the route of just saying, look, yes, I can talk about it, but I'm not living it right now. And kids don't live it. This is purely entertainment. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to incorporate the other side of it in my rap. So I'm going to incorporate like the consequences of this
they don't do that
in my music as well. Or it won't be like a 12-song album, 12 songs killing. It's going to be maybe 10 songs killing, one song about the consequence of
10 songs
of the other side.
10 songs that are straight killing on this album.
And a gospel record on there.
10 straight songs of killing and killing. One song about love and then how I sent them all to Jesus. Yeah, that's what it's like, bro.
Hey, May said it the best on Everyday, not Everyday Struggle. It is what it is.
Yeah.
He said, look, even again, everybody need God. everybody, no matter who you
Everybody.
are. So if it's on brand, hey,
It's on
I
everybody.
killed 10 jokers and I'm gonna pray for forgiveness tonight. Lord, I hope I don't I know where I'm going. Like Tupac said, like Tupac in his raps used to always talk about like, you know, dealing with his sins, you know what
Right?
I'm
It's like what DMX say. You know who gonna find you? Some old man fishing, grandma wishing.
saying?
Right? I'm like, oh shoot.
So yeah, man, shout out to hip hop, but let's stop.
Like we do got to stop with the. For me, you mentioned a lot of music you listen to. I really don't listen to a lot of music like that. I listen to. I listen to like a lot of J Cole though. I do listen to a lot of J Cole. I listen to Kendrick, but I don't listen to music that I know has a lot of negative themes in the music, right? I don't want to hear music about you killing this other dude. I just don't want to hear that. Or you sliding on this dude. I don't want to hear that. Um, me personally, I just don't want to hear about you killing another dude or you giving drugs to another person and that causes their demise, even though it's their decision to take the drug and not. But still,
Right.
um, that's just my own physical psyche, not wanting to. Well, I want it's not physical psyche, but my own soul don't want to bring that into my own inner being. But
I get
now
that.
don't get it twisted though. I'll throw on some Wu because I get the Wu Tang up there. I listen to Wu Tang. I got NWA over there. Like
Shame on
that
them that tried to run game
game
on
on
them.
like
Yeah.
try to protecting that because my favorite joint by Wu Tang and
Did I
Cream.
tell you I ran into I met the Jizza about a year ago. Maybe a little more than a year ago
Not really.
in the airport, yeah.
Not look. So I was working at a in St. Louis at what was used to be called the Kiel Center, and it was actually I was working security there, and it was the actual what was the tour? I don't remember the name of the tour. Um, it wasn't the Rough Rider tour. But it was a tour with Method Man, Redman, DMX, Jay Z.
Mm.
Um,
I know what you're talking about. I don't
y-
remember the name of it,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that tour right there. When they came to St. Louis, I worked that tour. I
Okay.
wanted to work that tour,
Okay.
and when people came, I mean, I saw Redman ride it. You know, to hear the stories of Meth was talking about Redman riding his bike and stuff. I mean, I'm literally watching Redman ride his bike through the corridor. I'm just like, yo, wait, that's Redman right there. Like, I'm a huge Redman fan. I think he's one of the best lyricists, hands down. I love Meth. I think Meth is one of the best lyricists, hand down. And so these dudes came walking up and was like, yo, can we go outside real quick? And we were told that you couldn't let anybody else outside, let them outside, no nothing. And they were talking to me. And now keep in mind, I'm in my 20s. I'm like a fan. I'm like, these dudes had the gold joint in their mouth and they had Wu-Tang on their grill, bro. I was like, yo, they was like, yo, we got to go outside because Meth is supposed to be coming here soon. So we got to go. I'm like, yo, like Method, man. And keep in mind, I'm still trying to work security, right? Well, no, you can't go outside. But if you take me with you, I can just like kind of, escort y'all and then, bring you back in. But I just kind of want to meet Meth real. Oh, yeah, bro. I love Wu-Tang Clan. They like,
That's dope.
anyway. But I mean, speaking of like records and record labels and, all those different things.
Girl, Ari Lennox.
Ari Lennox, man. I
Yeah.
don't know how I feel about this, but we can jump into it.
She
'Cause
posted something to her
this ain't the
Instagram.
first time though. But anyway,
Well, yeah, a few weeks ago she posted about how she wasn't gonna
a few months ago,
quit. I think it was weeks ago. I think it was recently.
she last year. I remember watching a post from her last year, her in her kitchen, talking about. I think that's why she made the statement that she's not the poster child for mental health within within the music community. She's like, I'm not the poster child.
No, but I think she posted not very long ago that she was gonna quit social media.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and then she came out saying that she pretty much was her label wasn't supporting her and wasn't promoting her,
Right.
and she wanted off of Dreamville slash Interscope.
Right. So,
Period.
so here's the first thing I would say because I saw a lot of YouTube videos about people talking about Ari Lennox wants to be off and the ramifications and this and that and the insides. First of all, don't none of y'all really know what really is maybe, but I don't think y'all do. I don't really think y'all really know what really is actually going on unless you really have some type of connection with Eve or Cole or Ari. Like, and I don't think y'all really got that. I don't think y'all because I've never seen them on your platform. I've never seen you talk to them. I've never seen you mention them in any other capacity. But from a relationship perspective, with Ari or Eve or with Cole. So, and they got videos upon videos upon videos about what they think about what happened. So I guess I got my 2 cents into.
I was just about to say, if we gonna have ours, so don't
look,
knock them because
look.
we about to add to the list.
No, but they talking about like they know,
Yeah.
like they know why Ari Lennon wants off of Dreamville. You don't. You can only assume why you think Ari wants off of Dreamville based upon what she said. So uh, I guess that's the.
Well, I guess the first question is that a wise move to air out your grievances on a social media platform? And this goes for independence.
Right.
You might have a grievance with a producer, with a distributor, with anybody. Is it best to air out your grievances? And I say no.
I say no.
It's not a good look.
I don't think that's the platform. I think a person always. So when I saw that, I was like, what's her intent?
Yeah, because
what's her intent?
Do you want to go independent forever? Because here's the thing: if I'm another label, do I want to deal with this?
Right. Do I now want to deal with a person if something doesn't go your way?
Right.
If you don't like this or you don't like that, are you going to be the first to run to social media and complain about whatever that may be?
And I think most of us, I'm real big on respect, man, and like even if something doesn't work out, let's just say me and you have a falling out, you know what I'm saying, and I don't rock with you no more or whatever, like I'm gonna appreciate the platform you allow me to have so I can walk away without like having to bash you.
We can walk away amicably.
And if anybody ever asks me about you, I'm like, I don't got nothing bad to say. That's the homie. Whatever issues we had, that's private and whatever. But I'm never going. So I never like people bashing other people publicly to help them out because we didn't know who you were prior to your record deal. We didn't know who you were. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say you are nobody because everybody's somebody, right? We are somebody.
Well, the term nobody.
But you were not like on the radar. You were not famous. So at the very least, they've gave you some kind of fame that you can take with you wherever you want to go.
Right.
So even if you don't want to be there,
she has what 700,000.
Yeah, you've got
subscribers on YouTube.
You've got real fans. So now you can take that and parlay it to whatever you want to parlay. So if anything, have a little bit of gratitude here and not try to air them out. So I'm real big on never airing out your grievances with folks that helped you. If they helped you, thank them. And maybe they moving foul, maybe they moving wrong. You need to leave. I'm not saying that they're innocent, but it's how you do it.
So here's the thing, right? So if you do have grievances with someone, the first step is always to go work out those grievances with the other people, right? File your appeal with that person or persons and talk about what actually is going on. I mean, we don't know if she's really had, and this is kind of what I'm talking about when I say other people think they kind of know what is really going on. We don't know where they really had conversation between the owners of the record label and Ari and what is actually happening. We don't know the terms of her contract. We don't know anything that's supposed to be anything in relationship to the deal that she has with Dreamville Interscope, right? We don't know unless somebody comes out and says, here's exactly what's in her contract. And we see the contract and all the stipulations and what's written in that contract. We don't know. She talked about how, and this is the thing. So she talked about how she didn't want a video to come out. And I think that's what it was. She didn't want a video to be aired or something like that. And they told her that it wasn't. And then something happened with the people who were doing the video and it went out anyway. And then something happened. She asked them to take it down, but they didn't take it down and blah, blah, blah. Right.
Sounds like a mess.
Here's my thing. Once you sign to a label, you don't own that.
Right.
That's your job. Right. It's like you're being employed at an organization. And I don't think people ever look at it that way. Is if you're signed to me, do I have to ask for your permission to do something? I mean, if it's in a contract that I do.
Yeah.
But if it's not in the contract and it's in the contract that we own your name and likeness and then we can speak on your behalf and then we can do these certain types of things, they actually don't really need you to come and voice your opinions about whatever it is that they do with the artist that is signed to their record label. that they are promoting and putting money behind and developing and marketing and paying money to and having advancements and all these other things. I mean, do they really have to? Can you really, as an artist, come back to your record label and say, "I want to put that up"? Now, if you got mad leverage, I'm sure you can.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know how much leverage she has with her label. I don't know, but
you losing some of it when you go off online.
you're
But
absolutely losing some of it.
here's the flip side, and I think I might have heard them say this on Ray Daniels' show, I believe. But the flip side though is it could be a strategy to get off. Like if you to your
It
point,
could.
if you exhausted every other option and they still won't let you go, it's the whole the Diddy thing with Bad Boy and the Locks. We had to have a whole campaign, free the Locks, a
Right.
whole street
I
team,
know.
a whole
Oh,
campaign.
free.
Like, okay, well, we go. You don't want to go. We gonna put public pressure out here to let us go.
So this is kind of what this reminds me of. So you ever watch like the news and you hear like those street reporters that go like to the job or to the organization or to the company. Hey, I'm Jim from Fox 5. Hey, we try to get in contact with you because, Becky over here has filed 15,000 grievances with you and you've never responded ever. So now we're the street team coming to you to talk about, we're the investigative unit,
Right.
right? That's kind of what this, because those are the people that air the grievances on news.
Get on my face.
Or get on my face, or like on social media, right? They're like the investigative unit that's figuring out what's going on. And that's kind of what you're now taking out the middle person to be the investigative unit and airing out what the grievance is between you and the company, and you're just now doing it yourself. But is it a good move though? It could be a strategy to say, you know what, Cole's not talking to me, Ibrahim's not talking to me, whoever else is on the staff, they're not talking to me. I've tried to negotiate and
because here's the thing:
nobody's listening.
if she already got an agreement in place somewhere else, then yeah, then
that could be.
Then the whole backlash is going to be it's null and void because they already know what you're going to do. You know what? Okay, do this and get off there and then come over here.
Right.
So if she has something already set up already, she don't care about how it looks.
But still,
that's a funny game too because the music industry is a funny business. Because what if you do all that and then the higher up here and the higher up over there get to talking, and now whoever was gonna bring you in, they get vetoed now. So now you don't got nobody now.
True. It's like,
look at Deshaun Watson in football. I don't be a conspiracy theorist, but all them sexual assault allegations didn't come out until he won it out of Houston. He won it out of Houston. He said, "I'm not playing for y'all till you trade me. I'm sitting out. Forget y'all. I don't want to be here no more. This organization is terrible. I'm not playing for y'all no more. I'm done. Get me out of here." A couple weeks later, boom. Allegations out the wide.
Man, they got them things in like their back pocket.
Exactly.
They ready. Like, oh, you think you're gonna try to do something? We got this.
Listen.
Oh, wait.
I am confident with all that's in me that's what happened to Deshaun Watson.
I think they be setting them up at times.
I am so confident. No. Here what I think. I think they be setting them up, but I think some of it too is just a lot of these players are scumbags, bro, and they get away with stuff. And the organization put it under the rug. They knew he was a creep who liked to get massages and be funny. They knew he was a creep.
But here's the deal.
You want to do what?
Now
you want to do what? Oh, okay.
Right. That's right.
And matter of fact, for good measure, we're gonna add about 10 extra ones too.
That's right.
To throw on here.
That's right.
To make it real good.
Now we got leverage. Now we got something we can use against you. Because
that boy ain't been the same since.
Because we know you've been at these parties that we've invited you to, that we set up for you. We got these nice honeys over here. Nice honeys over here. You know what I mean? Like, we understand that a couple of them, we position a couple of them, to kind of talk to you a little bit, kind of, get real comfortable with you.
So you got to be careful how you play the game, though. So back to the R. Lennox thing. Because the only way it will make sense to even go that route that she went is if she had something set up already. But even then, you got to be careful because you can't trust nobody and things can change. But them tweets don't change because it's out there already.
That's right.
You can delete it, but it's out there.
Those tweets.
The damage has been done. Right. So you gotta be real careful. I don't think it's a good move to go that route.
I don't think it's a good move to air your grievances on social media in any capacity. I'm always thinking about what is my intent in airing this out publicly to the masses of people, to my fans. What is the intent? in this situation for me to do that when I could handle it maybe a different. My fans can't do nothing. I mean, they could petition. They probably could, right? All 700,000, a million fans could probably petition, but it's not a union, right? There
Right.
is no music union in that capacity, right? We don't have a SAG. We don't. I don't know. Do we? I don't. I haven't seen one where they protect artist rights
Right.
and to ensure artists are getting paid what they're supposed to. I don't think anything like that exists. So, what is my intent as a person, as an artist, airing out my grievances on social media for the world to hear? What do I expect for them to do? And then, how do I expect for those to hear it to respond? Now you're like, oh yeah, okay. Now we understand. Now, if they were real shady people, they could, you know, retaliate and go, oh okay. Now we for sure ain't gonna give you no next album deal. And you're just gonna ride it out for however long your contract is with no new music ever coming out again
Yeah.
until your contract is over.
Some of these machines could be evil, and you never know. To your point, maybe she did try it the other way,
You could.
and maybe she's trying to get public support to have her back so that nothing evil does happen. Because now, if something bad happened to her, it's like, oh, see, as far as her
Yeah, yeah,
career,
yeah.
see, look what it did to Ari Lennox. Look what it did to her because she put it out there. So there's so many layers,
There's
and
so many
like you
layers.
said, we don't really
We
know.
don't know.
We can just tell you from our perspective,
That's right.
as a general rule, it's not a good idea to air out your grievances publicly,
Yeah, I
no
don't.
matter what level you on.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. And I think as independents, because we see it not a, this is on a major level. We see it on a indie level. Oh, you didn't give me that beat. I'm gonna go tell the world. Oh, you didn't do this right. I'm gonna go tell the world. It's like, why? What are you expecting other people to do?
And music, man. Oh
And
my
that's
gosh, you see this in entertainment, sports, all kinds of stuff, but especially in music, like your leverage changes. You can be on top of the world today.
and being the bottom tomorrow.
Yeah, so be careful how you move with people because you got the leverage over them this today. That might flip. That whole dynamic could change tomorrow. So
It
don't
could.
think because you get the leverage now, start feeling yourself and trying to flex around because oh my gosh, that can get
It
ugly.
can. It
So
can.
just try to be on the up and up. Don't worry about getting no licks back. You know what I'm saying?
I like the question you have here. Is it best to avoid signing a record deal with another artist because they can't really focus on you and their own career?
That's the age old argument,
That's
man.
the right. That's
Why sign to another rapper? Like, I mean, Lil Wayne did it with Drake and Nicki. That came out pretty good.
well,
But
but
what about Gutta Gutta and Jay Mills and Corey Guns and Tiger did, but Tiger had to leave to really
right.
do it. So or remember Chanel, the singer Chanel?
Mm-hmm.
So for every Drake and Nicki, he got 2 or 3
Mm-hmm.
ones that didn't work out either.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
So, but I think that's why they have people in place to run the organization with them having some type of interaction or involvement in it. But they're not like the major ones. Like, since we're talking about Ari, Eve is not, I mean, Cole, yes, Cole and Eve are the guys, right? But Cole's off doing Cole stuff.
Yeah, but isn't
Who's running?
the guy his name
Yeah,
Ibrahim?
Ibrahim. Yeah.
Isn't he like J. Cole's manager or something like that?
Yeah, but
Or
he's the owner.
nah, bro.
Yeah, bruh.
You no. What I'm saying is, how you gonna manage J.
Oh yeah,
Cole and still
yeah.
be and still
Right.
treat
I see what
your
you're
priority is J. Cole, bro.
saying.
That's her priority, bro. Not Ari Lennox.
I see I see what you're saying.
So come on, man.
But he may not. So yeah, so Dreamville is, a label founded
No,
by
but
J.
whatever.
Cole and his manager, Ibrahim.
But whatever you say though, no matter what Ibrahim's title is, that's his man.
It's still his man.
That's his man. So you gonna look out for it so it's like
It's his man.
so come on, y'all. Come on, man.
I get it. I now that I get, right. It said Dreamville. Okay, well, that's producers elite, and yeah, that's different. So I mean, that's his manager, right? So that's his boy. They found the company together.
So
I mean, plus they got others, right? They got Boz, Kaz, Omen, Loot, Jid, or JID, whichever one you like to pronounce it by, Earth Gang. But then
which one of them blew up?
like blew up? Like
Yeah.
when you say blow up, like what you mean?
Okay.
Like, Cole.
It's 25%. Name me one that has 25% of Cole's success. None.
Cole.
None.
Cole.
Everybody keeps saying that JID, he on his way. They say he had the Eminem feature.
Right.
He had a couple other big features.
Right.
They say that he rapping the best. He rapping good from the beginning, but he's really rapping good right now.
I think they all have a certain level of success,
but
I don't think in relationship to Cole.
So what are we doing here?
I mean, because Cole was known before.
What are we doing
before all of this, right?
Listen,
Cole already had reached a certain status and level before the institution of Dreamville as a record label.
But listen to this though. Let me give you the flip side of that though. You thought about this though.
People should have retired.
No. People forget that Cole signed to Jay-Z.
Yeah, of course.
We don't even remember that no more because Cole blew up so big, carved his own lane that you don't even associate him with Jay-Z. But he signed to Rock Nation.
He was of course.
So he was one of Jay-Z's first artists post Def Jam.
Right.
So that's proof right there. But again, how many albums have Jay-Z put out since he signed J. Cole? With 2? Maybe 3? He definitely ain't putting it out in a while. Yeah. And I don't know, is J. Cole still on Rock Nation now?
Nah.
So
no, straight Dreamville.
So on the flip side,
the Rock Nation thing is over.
But on the flip side, though, J. Cole could be like, "Look, y'all, I did it. I came up under the arguably the greatest rapper of all time. I made my own name. How come y'all can't?"
Yeah, but if you go back and listen to the Cole story, there was some things that didn't he talk about they didn't want to like release didn't he talk about he had a leak? That he had to leak the album or the tape or the song because they didn't want to release it. Was it Who Dat?
That was his first. That's one of his singles.
Like they didn't want to release it.
Whatever the case, though, he did his thing.
He did.
He did his thing, and he came up from under the shadows. Excuse me. So, I mean, because that just hit me. Like, wait a second, Cole came up under Jay-Z, and we don't even remember that no more. I remember it. So Cole could be like, y'all can't tell me nothing. I'm giving y'all a platform. Because here, I heard 50 Cent say this. It's the age-old argument. Because I know from like Shady Aftermath with Eminem and Shady Records and Eminem and 50 Cent and G-Unit, they had this thing where like, I know the first Shady Records era with Obi Trice and D12 and them, Eminem was heavily involved with their careers. But once Eminem kind of stopped, or look at like your hometown, Nelly and the St. Lunatics. Nelly was all with them in his book, but once, can y'all do it without me? So now with Shady Records, Shady Records 2.0 with like the Yellow Wolf and the Slaughterhouse, Eminem took a little, he was hands-on, but he was a little bit, or looking now we're like Boogie and Grip.
Right.
And he's not as, because it's like, y'all got to do it on y'all. Or Jay-Z with Rockefeller, Jay-Z was maybe with him too much, because when he stepped back, can y'all sustain on the same level without me? And the answer is always no, usually. But look at J. Cole though. Look at J. Cole. Look at Nicki Minaj. Look at Drake. So I think there's an argument to answer my question that I wrote. You can sign if you really believe in yourself to another rapper. It doesn't matter. If you got your stuff, because Cole had Ibrahim from the beginning. So if you got your own team, you can make it do what it do. You're not gonna have all the leverage at first,
right?
But you got to get in there, freak that thing, flip it, and then get the leverage.
So she mentioned that they didn't believe in advertisement on social media like Google ads and things like that, right? And she's like, I can't understand why not, because everybody's on social media. So why don't we advertise and using those methods? And if that's the case, it's probably because, now I'm just thinking it may be, I don't know for a fact. Did Cole ever use those methods?
It's not fair because Instagram wasn't as popular.
I understand.
I think Instagram came out 2012 when it came out. IG.
No. I mean, I'm just talking about from a social media perspective. Did Cole even even after the first, second, going into 2014 Forest Hill Drive, did they use social media to market their music? Even with For Your Eyes Only, right? KOD, um, right? Did they use social media marketing to promote the Cole's album and or any other artist that is on Dreamville? Because she's stating that they don't like to do Google ads and
Again, you got to
some
make it.
other marketing.
Again, you got to get in there and make it do what it do, man. Get your own team, get your own money if you have to, and do it yourself.
So then that's the question, right? So then if I can do it by myself, if I need to do it by myself, do I need to be signed to somebody? Even though, yes, you've given me the platform in the beginning, but now we're looking at certain things from a growth perspective,
Well, I look at like Tiger, man. I think Tiger is a good case study because
and it's not happening.
he had a couple of public statements about how he never got a royalty check from Cash Money and all that. But for the most part, he left respectfully. Cash Money and Young Money. He kind of left
Ain't
respectfully.
nobody get a check, really.
He kind of left, but what I'm saying is he kind of left respectfully. Went to Empire, independent. You know, had a few years where he was kind of a laughing stock for a while. They were laughing at him, you know. But let the record show though. I've been said Tiger was dope. A lot of them albums they laughed at were actually dope that he was coming out with. But he stayed the course, and then he had that big hit Taste.
Yep.
And now he's doing well. He on tour with Nicki Minaj now. So, and that's full circle.
Full circle.
But I think like there's ways to navigate.
And I think that's the thing, right? As an independent artist, some of those things you may not have luxury of having, like a whole entire marketing division that is dedicated to, you know, your project and releasing and marketing that particular project. And there are things that you're going to have to do on your own, like Google ads and all those things, right? So like the question you have here, would you rather be unsigned and unknown? If you're with a major record label and they have the financial backing, the marketing, the structure, the organization to move your career forward, and there are issues that you may have with them, it's best to air those out with those individuals versus taking to social media, right? Because you never know the ramifications. I always tell people you are only responsible for your choices. You are not responsible for the consequences because you don't know what consequences are going to stem from your actions. So as an independent, you now have to do all those things. You don't have the backing. Maybe you have an investor. Maybe it's your job, right? Which is my biggest investor. But maybe you don't have that. Maybe you don't have that backing like an Ari Lennox, like she has. And so you got to think about it. How do you position yourself in a way that allows you to still tap in, as you stated, get in there and freak that thing, right? That allows you to maximize every opportunity that you have within the constraints that you currently are facing. And a lot of independent artists are facing a lot of different struggles. Shoot, I think a lot of them would love to be facing what Ari is facing.
That's the thing. Like, would you rather be unknown? You know. So in other words, be thankful for where you at, even if it's not the best. Excuse me. Get in there and work until you get the leverage in your favor.
And say, hey, look, I understand you guys may not want to do Google ads. That is something I think that we need to do. Can we come to some type of agreement where, you know, y'all give me some money or I take a portion of my own income and, you know, do that on my own to promote the album and any money that's generated from those. And that's the thing, right? Because now if there's money generated from those advertisements and those platforms, where does it go?
Yeah, it's gonna all go back to the label.
So I'll go back to the label that didn't believe in
and trickle down to you some kind of
right.
way.
That didn't believe in, you know, doing those types of things.
But that leads to my overall bigger question though, as far as like, because I listen to a lot of R&B money with Tank and Jay Valentine, right? Is R&B promoted properly as a whole, as a genre? Because R&B, is it dying? Is R&B underground?
That's another conversation.
It's R&B underground because Ari Lennox is one of the most talented young singers we have in the R&B game.
That's true.
And I think her situation can possibly be a microcosm of what's really going on in R&B, period.
It could. I mean, and she's on a label with a bunch of other rappers. So the dominant genre on that label are rap. I mean, they're all rappers, right? There isn't one that's kind of like, oh, I'm kind of a singer, kind of.
So again, the question is R&B promoted properly, or is R&B under promoted? What did I say here? Is R&B? Yeah, is it
I think
promoted properly?
well, it depends. Like you wrote, like SZA team would probably beg to differ
Yeah,
because
because this is doing great.
SZA's doing great. Summer Walker's doing great.
But what about like it's a good analogy here. Inglewood Sir, I know him and D Smoke, their mom passed away recently, rest in peace to their
Mhm.
mother. He's on TDE, and they did a whole interview with Punch about SZA. A whole hour. They mentioned Inglewood Sir not one time.
Dang.
The whole
I-
interview.
Was the interview about SZA or was it about?
No, it was about Punch. It was about Punch, and he talked about how they started TDE and how they came up
Mhm.
and all that. But eventually, it's going to turn to R&B because it's R&B Money Podcast, right?
Right.
So eventually, it turned into R&B.
I actually haven't seen the Punch
All
one
they talk
yet.
about was SZA. I was waiting on Inglewood Sir. It's an R&B podcast. So speaking of R&B, what about the other R&B artists you got over there? What about Sir? Didn't mention them at all.
The SZA sizzling right now.
But my point though is like, is it indicative where R&B is that
Mm,
they talk about her, but if you love R&B, let's talk about R&B.
R&B.
So it SZA like the
Exactly.
exception. Because SZA's R&B and pop now.
Mhm.
She is.
Like hers R&B. Summer Walker. Like you got
Do they
R&B.
get promoted right? I think LMA just put out a project or something, right?
Are,
The other day that nobody's talking about.
but are they being promoted right? Those
Again, it's R&B.
I don't think so. Like I'm an R&B. I love
R&B
R&B.
seems to be underground.
I love R&B more than I love hip hop. Completely. Like I'm an R&B, but because I used to sing growing up, so I was always. I mean, you couldn't sing hip hop, so I sang R&B all the time. But I love R&B more than I love hip hop. But I don't see R&B having the same amount of attention that hip hop has. I think there's hip hop is here, and has infected every single culture around the world. So hip hop is here. R&B is here. I mean, you got singers in different countries. They not hip hop is flavor. You know, hip hop is swag.
So what do you think? But where does that lead to independent artists though? This is Indie Unplugged, right? So if you're on a major label getting under promoted, where does that leave to indie? Or since R&B is underground anyway, maybe it's best to be independent if you're an R&B singer.
It could be.
Maybe that's the best way.
That's very interesting.
Because I mean, don't get it twisted. There's a lot of R&B singers that are doing well independently out here. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Using their own money or getting investments or getting loans, doing their own shows, small
Mhm.
shows, tours. So I don't know, but this is a question. Again, a lot of these questions are rhetorical. I don't have not
Mhm.
rhetorical, well, rhetorical, but maybe like, to be continued. Like,
Mm.
I don't have an
That one
answer.
we got to continue.
I don't have an answer yet, but let's start talking about it. Is R&B like under promoted? Is R&B being shoved to the underground because it's either like rap music or pop, and there's
Yeah,
no
it's one of the
music,
two.
it's no room for R&B unless it's underground.
Or unless you have a R&B artist on a hip hop album,
Or if you R&B and can cross over to
you
pop, like
cross
SZA.
over, right? And
'Cause Kill Bill is like a pop record at this point.
and that's kind of like the thing, right? Is that you R&B, but you can cross over into another genre, right?
But that should be the goal though. If you want to get big, 'cause every pop and R&B artist had like pop and R&B art. Even Chris Brown, they cross over.
Right.
They have some
Yeah,
records
yeah, yeah.
that are played on pop radio because they're
Mhm.
just that big. They're
Mhm.
inescapable. You know,
That's true.
from the
That's true.
Mariah Careys of the world, I can go on and on.
Mhm.
But I
But
don't
there
know,
was
man.
but if you go back and look at some of the documentaries, there was a lot of songs that R&B artists were singing that never got played or could not get played or would not be played on pop stations. Regardless, they were like, "Nah, no."
But
But
certain songs lend themselves to it. Like Kill Bill,
they do.
it just sounds like a pop record.
They do. But that's a conversation that is going to be continued right there, my brother.
Has to be.
That's a conversation that I really want to get into.
A lot of the conversations that we have, I think, are ongoing. Like the
Mhm.
whole violence in hip hop, and that's an ongoing conversation.
Ongoing.
Things develop. How much you should get paid for streaming? That's an ongoing conversation. Or
Mm.
what's a producer versus beat maker? These are
Mhm.
all ongoing conversations because we can argue about it till you're blue in the face and come back next week and start all over
It's
again.
all over again. That's right.
So yeah. That's just how I was feeling, man, today.
That's what I'm saying. Look,
Rest in peace, Quincy Jones, man.
rest in peace, Quincy Jones. Y'all see his drip over here?
Dog Supply, baby.
Oh man,
From Walmart, baby. Dog
see
Supply.
my man over
Snoop
here.
Dogg, you know what I'm saying? I got a bunch of these jumpsuits from Dog Supply. I got a bunch of them. I got almost every color. And like, this is the one from this year. I had the one from last year. I got this year's collection.
Oh, they come out.
Because
Oh
they,
yeah,
they
yeah,
they
different
added a
year.
little bit of this. I don't know what it's called, but they added these to this year's collection. And it's a little slightly different
Oh,
design.
like a I was called
I
say
don't know
like a
what it's
label.
called.
I feel like a
It's like a
label
little
or
plastic rubber kind of piece right
yeah.
there. But yeah, man. Shout out to Snoop Dogg, man.
All right, now they got to come up with a new one, missionary supply or something.
That song, man, that song "Gorgeous" is like my favorite song in the world
I'm gonna
right
check it
now.
out. I'm definitely gonna check it out.
We can
Gorgeous.
be anything, everything.
I'm definitely gonna check it
We
out.
do the wildest things. The 6 in the morning.
Is he really doing it? I mean, he could be. Nah, he probably could. Nah, he married too. He better not be doing it. He'll only be doing it with his wife 6 in the morning. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we give you we have these conversations so that you can think about the things that we're saying and how it applies to your life as an independent music creator. Hope we're doing a good job, talking about relevant topics that are happening today and kind of giving you some things to think about, maybe some questions you may need to ask yourself if you're looking at moving in a different direction, like signing with a major label or staying independent or
Start your own label.
starting your own label. There's a lot of stuff to consider, a lot of stuff to think about. And of course, the Indie Unplugged, we create music TV. We want to be a resource, the number one resource that provides all of that education, entertainment, resources, mindset, skills, tools to all of you. But Brian, I appreciate you, man. Once again, it's great to have another conversation.
Always.
And looking forward to the one that we're gonna have next week. Cause I'm sure there's gonna be things that happen this week that we got to talk about next week.
All the time.
All the time. All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.